Hi, I'm Nick Ross for iTWire. Today we're with Riverbed. Can you tell us who you are and what do you do, please?
Yeah, hi, I'm Jim Gargan. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer with Riverbed. I joined the company a little over a year and a half ago, and have been here as part of the transition team.
And for those people who don't know, can you tell us about Riverbed?
Yeah, so Riverbed is a company that was founded 23 years ago around the idea of being able to help networks move quicker. And then over time, we've acquired many new products. And what we've done is we moved into the entire space of user experience. So helping IT departments to deliver flawless user experiences, not only to their employees, but to their customers as well. And that's across all the types of devices they use, including their laptops and PCs and servers, as well as even their mobile devices.
And we understand that Riverbed's undergone a lot of changes this year. Can you tell us about those?
Yeah, so I think the best way to think about the changes that we're going through this year is really to frame it by going a little bit back in time and sort of thinking about where the company originated. So as I said, we started as a company in 2003 with the focus on how do you improve the performance of networks. And then over time, we acquired more networking technology. We built some of our own networking technology. We became very, very good not only at moving data across networks, but also at being able to diagnose problems and helping to resolve them. And then about a dozen years ago, we got into the digital experience business. And that's really about helping the IT shops and IT operations deliver better capabilities to their users throughout the organization. And we've continued to build on those capabilities. And where that led us to was we had developed a series of products. I think if you looked at them individually, they were very good products. They did exactly what we say they would do. Customers loved them because they were able to scale and sort of meet the needs. And so the change that's happened over the last year, year and a half, couple of years really, is we began the process of instead of having optimized individual products, we now have merged all of these products into a common platform. And when you bring it all together, that's where the real magic can happen. And so that's how we're now able to apply artificial intelligence across the entire portfolio. And what we've done is we've created the industry's only platform that is dedicated to improving user experience. And we've actually are the only ones in the observability space that not only can we observe what's going on, but we can actually, through our acceleration business, make it run faster, right? So whether the networks or the applications, any of those, we can make run faster. And we've been able to bring it all together around one common goal, one common objective. And that's what we've been doing for the last year. We announced it a year ago at our Powered X events. And then in May of this year, we released the platform. We released a series of products underneath it, which support that platform and what we're trying to do. And so I think if you describe the platform, I would think of it as sort of three pieces to the pie, right? There is what we do around data collection. So think of that as being we monitor applications, networks, devices, everything across the IT ecosystem, and we capture that data and information. It tells us what's happening behind the scenes, what's really going on. It gives you the roadmap to when you have to, go resolve a problem. Then we take all of that data and we feed that into our artificial intelligence engine. And what that does is does the analysis and the correlation. And it allows us to, in some cases, prevent issues before they actually occur, identify the ones that are occurring, and then to help, in many cases, to resolve them without even the need for human intervention. And then we report it all out across the entire enterprise for customers. So that's what we do. That's what the platform is all about. And that's the big change that we've made. And what we wanted to do on the artificial intelligence front is really make artificial intelligence practical. Because, Nick, I'm sure that you've talked to many people as part of what you do, where there's been a lot of hype about AI in the marketplace. And I think we have finally reached the point now where we're past the hype cycle. We're now into, I guess, people call it the trough of disillusionment, which is now they're looking at the reality. And this is actually a good thing. I think it's good for us. I think it's good for the industry because it allows us to stop talking about the grand ideas of the vision of what it can do. And actually you get down to analyzing what your real capabilities are and where your shortcomings are. And this is where the real magic happens now in terms of developing AI capabilities and technology. So I think the whole marketplace is going through that right now in the industry as well. But we hear it from our customers every day. We don't want to hear about the AI hype. What we want to hear about is practical AI that I can implement and scale and make it work. And that's really been our focus. And that's what we've done in the past year.
And can you tell us about the new partnership with Intel regarding observability?
Yeah, so that's very exciting. We just announced that last week. And if you think about it, what we do, and many people do in the industry, is try to observe what's going on with the device. So take, for example, if you're a trader and you have a trader station where you're trading stocks and so forth, you will typically have a laptop, and that laptop will be connected to multiple devices. You may have several monitors that are connected to your system. You may have cameras and speaker systems and backup storage and all sorts of things. These are all connected through the Thunderbolt port that they provide as part of the Intel chipset that comes with the Intel processor. And so what we're doing is we're expanding, and we're the only one in the market can do this now, and we're the first one with Intel to do it, where we can not only monitor what's happening in the laptop, but we can now extend that observability to all of those connected devices, which now gives us an incredible amount of data of what's really happening. And then even beyond that, we also can now look at Wi-Fi. So the Intel onboard Wi-Fi processor, we can monitor that, and we can tell you whether you're in the office or whether you're working on the road, what's going on with your Wi-Fi and your system, problems and issues you may be having. And it can even look at access points. So I think the way that I like to think about this is we've gone from the device observability to device ecosystem observability. And these types of systems are the most critical that are usually running in a customer's workplace. So trader sessions, AutoCAD, where they're doing like design workflows and things like that. It's all real important work. And now we can even give a better sense of what's happening and then help the IT department deliver a better user experience.
And what were the key findings from Riverbed's Global AI and Digital Experience Survey?
Oh yeah, that was interesting. We just published that last month, and it's a project that we wanted to do to understand the adoption of AI and how people were really thinking about it and where they were. I think there are a number of findings, but let me just sort of summarize, I think, the important ones. So the first thing that we found out was, despite the hype that we just talked about around AI, the enthusiasm within the IT department of what AI can do to help them to solve their problems is actually quite high. 94% of the C-level executives that we spoke with, and we talked to over 1,200 around the globe, see the real value in what people want to be able to do with AI and how it can help them. The thing that most companies are sort of thinking about at this point is, if you think back to when the internet commercialized, so go back 30 years, right? The internet was there, but then companies started taking advantage of it commercially, and it was one of the biggest revolutionary changes we've ever had in our industry. There were sort of three types of companies that went through that transition. The first are those that didn't respond to it, didn't embrace it, didn't want to change their business model. And they ultimately, most of them went out of business because other people reinvented the business models and took it away from them. Then there are companies who saw what was happening and adjusted. And so companies like Walmart or Federal Express, United Parcel Services, all reimagined their business because of the commercial internet. And now they're even bigger and better and more popular than they've ever been. And then the third type are the new companies that didn't exist. So take Google or Facebook or Uber. Didn't exist, but now the internet created that. And so at the board level and within the C-suite, everybody remembers that. And the thing that they're all concerned about, and they think that AI is going to have that same type of impact to the marketplace. It's going to change things. It'll take time, but it's going to change things. They're very concerned. They want to make sure that they know that they're protected from what's happening with AI, that they're thinking about how it's going to reimagine their business. And then they're worried about what their competitors are thinking about and how they could use it to reshape the marketplace. So that's why AI is so important to these people. Now, as we went through the survey, what we found out is even though they have a lot of enthusiasm, there are a couple of key gaps that companies are facing around the adoption of AI. The first is I would characterize it as a reality gap, right? So when you ask them, hey, how do you view yourself relative to the rest of the industry and where you stand in sort of the adoption of AI? 82% of them came back and said, we're leaders. Well, math would tell you that 82% can't be leaders, right? Half would be ahead, half would be behind. So it'd be about the 50% number. And only 5% thought they were slightly behind. So I think in some cases, they're probably overestimating their capabilities. The second big gap that came out is a data gap. And that's the one that they really should be worried about, because in the world of AI, it's very simple mantra, right? Good data means good AI. And so the data is the critical element that you have to have. And as it turns out, nearly 70% of the respondents were worried about the quality of the data that they had and their ability to take advantage of it to do their AI modeling. And then the last one really came around the readiness gap. Do they have the skills and the people in place, and are they ready to move forward with this? And it remains, I think, a gap for them. So the finding was only about a third of the respondents believed that they were actually ready to sort of take advantage of today what's happening with AI. But they all believe, 86% believe, that they will be ready in the next 3 years. So they're very eager to make the move forward. They're beginning now to understand what the issues are. And I think this is part of that, getting over the hype curve. And so the key finding, if you summarize it down, is, look, we want to use AI, but it's got to be practical. It's got to be something that we can make work, and it shouldn't be hard. So we've developed at our company a totally different strategy on how we want to help them to succeed with their AI ambitions.
And can you tell us about Riverbed's view on digital employee experience? DEX, I believe, is the acronym.
Yeah, so that is the the core business that we're in, and it's one of the things that are really becoming even more important over time than it has in the past. Look, at the end of the day, everybody who comes to work wants to be productive. When they turn on their computer, they want it to boot up quickly. They want to be able to have their applications running. When they're doing a webcast or a video conference or just a meeting, they want to make sure that the video and the audio runs properly and that they're able to do their job. So what they're really trying to get at here is, how do you deliver that? And it turns out the number one priority that IT departments ask us for help in when they come to us is, first, how do we help improve our digital experience? Because it turns out the employees really do care about it. And with more people working from home than in the office than ever before, the challenges of doing that actually get exponentially harder, because a lot of that traffic is no longer traversing your traditional networks. They're actually going over somebody else's Wi-Fi from the coffee shop. And so how do you be able to diagnose and know what's going on is really a challenge. The second thing that the IT leaders have asked us for help is help to simplify their environment. So what does that mean? We have customers that come to us all the time that say that they're using up to 50, 60 different tools to help to manage their digital experience. What they want to have is far fewer tools from a fewer number of vendors who provide them with a broader reach so that they can simplify their IT infrastructure. And, look, at the end of the day, if you got 56 tools, they were never designed to work together. And so the IT leaders really become the system integrators in trying to figure out how to make it all work. When you go to a platform, like what we've done, is we've done all that work for them. So it takes the burden off and they're able to go do it. And then the third thing they continue to ask for help is part of the digital experience is, help us to use AI to do what they call shift left. Solve more problems quickly with lower skilled resources so that you can take your most skilled resources and then have them working on other issues and helping to innovate the business rather than solving the problems of the day. So that's what digital experience is all about and how we're trying to help them to do that.
And what's on the horizon for enterprises in 2025 and beyond?
Yeah, so I think the number one challenge that everybody is going to have to face at some point is, as technology moves forward, it's good because it creates new capabilities, but it usually creates new blind spots. So think about things like zero trust architectures, right? Created by security teams who want to encrypt more of the information inside a company so that you're protecting the assets of the company. Well, what zero trust does, it actually hides the information that the networks teams need to understand what's going on. So that's an example of a blind spot. Another example of a blind spot is we talked about people who work remotely, right? That data is no longer going over their network. It's going over somebody else's. You've lost visibility to it. And then the third big blind spot that sort of popped up is more and more applications are moving to frontline workers who are using mobile devices, phones, iPads, scanners, inventory systems. When a package is delivered at your door, right, you see them take a picture. They're doing all the work on hand. I'm from a part of the world where we're just now going through some hurricanes, and so there's been a lot of flood damage. And so the assessors that come out to work on the insurance are actually using these mobile devices to process all of these claims. And there's 155 million new devices sold a year that do this type of work, and virtually none of them provide the access for managing the digital experience. So we've introduced new technology that will actually allow us to do that. And it's something that we're sort of out ahead of the marketplace on, but we're going to see more. But these are examples of the blind spots that are happening. So blind spot mitigation, I think, is issue number one. And then the issue number two that you're going to see us and others working on is really about artificial intelligence again, right? So this is about the integration of what we do. And our belief is when it comes to AI, we want to build AI into all of our products standard. It's something that we think should be built in, not bolted on. And it's something that you should be able to take advantage of without even having to worry about it or even know it's there. It just makes your products run. It's a feature that just makes things run faster, easier, better. The second thing that we're doing is then we take all of those individual products and we can aggregate them all together. So now you can see everything that's happening in combination, and it gives you better insights to what's happening. And then the third part is as more companies take advantage of AI, they're going to develop their own generative AI models or ways that they could reinvent their business, perhaps new revenue models. And the interesting part is that data movement is going to become incredibly important because a lot of that data that they're going to need for AI is actually at the edge. They're out in factories, they're in stores, they're on devices that are happening. Sometimes they're in the cloud, sometimes they're on premise. And the challenge is going to be you have to move the data from where it is to where it needs to be. And so it's going to require you to move massive amounts of data back and forth at very high speeds. And so there's this whole notion of what we believe is going to happen around networking for AI and how it's going to have to change the model. So I would say those are the three big trends that you're going to see in the industry, and those are the things that we're concerned about and working on here at Riverbed.
And how can potential partners work with you? Are you direct or through the channel or something else?
Yeah, we have it all. So we do have our own direct sales. Of course, we have channel partners throughout the world who work with us, and so we're eager and open to working with partners. We have a very good partner model that we work on, and I think a very dedicated and loyal partner base. So it's not just direct, but we do have our own direct sales force who service accounts, and then we use our partners to help fill. We use our partners to help expand our business reach.
And is there anything else you'd like to add while you've got the ear of iTWire's Australian B2B audience?
Yeah, so I would encourage everybody to think about their strategy for what they want to do with the adoption of AI and then how they're going to improve their digital experience. And again, as we see it throughout the world, people are just going to want to simplify. I think moving from individualized point products to a platform makes sense because, at the end of the day, what does a platform do for you? It's done all the hard work on the integration for you. They're easier to buy. Platforms are easier to buy. They're easier to maintain. They're easier to train. And so there has been a big trend in the past 24 months of customers starting now to see that and aggregate and reduce the number of different products they have from different vendors and trying to simplify their environment. And if you're focused on AI, I would tell you data is the most important thing that they should be thinking about. And the whole point here is not only do you have to have good data, but we think you also have to have real data, full fidelity, full telemetry of what's happening at the endpoints. And sometimes you hear this term called AI hallucinations, which is you get a nonsensical answer when somebody runs or asks an AI question. Well, that's caused by synthetic data, right? Where it was generated artificially, it's not real data, and therefore you get sort of sometimes odd answers. So those are all the things that I would advise people to think about as they go forward with their journey on how to improve their digital experience.
Okay, Jim Gargan, thank you very much.
Thank you.